Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed the pregnancy and also the parturition. In pregnancy we have discussed that it is also known as the gestation period. In the gestation period we have discussed the three phases, that is your first trimester, second trimester and the third trimester. Also we have discussed the complex neuroendocrine mechanism, that is your parturition, and we have discussed up to the labor, means we have just started the labor or the labor pain. So first today we'll discuss the labor, then we'll go to the lactation. So what is labor? Simply we can say when the uterus gets contracted, when the abdominal muscle gets contracted, when the cervical canal gets dilated or widening of the cervical canal, all these are collectively we can say known as the labor. So we can write when the uterus gets contracted, or we can say when the abdominal muscle gets contracted, abdominal muscle gets contracted, and eventually the widening of the cervical canal, widening of the cervical canal. All this collectively we can say as labor. All this we can collectively say as labor. Okay. Next, so what is the labor pain? Labor pain means the recurrent pain which the woman felt or woman feels during the childbirth is known as your labor pain. Second point, so what is your labor pain? What is your labor pain? We can say that the recurrent pain, the recurrent means constant pain when the woman feels during the childbirth is known as labor pain. Okay. Further, labor pain is being divided into three stages. First is your stage of dilation, second is your stage of expulsion, third is your stage of placental stage or the afterbirth stage. Labor pain is divided into three stages. Okay. First is your stage of dilation, second is your stage of expulsion, third is your placental stage, or we can say it is the afterbirth stage. Okay. So till now what we have studied: when the uterus gets contracted, when the abdominal muscle gets contracted, or the cervical canal gets widened or dilated, all this cumulatively, all this collectively or the collectively actions together called the labor. And what is the labor pain? When the woman feels recurrent pain while giving birth to the child, or we can say during the childbirth time. The recurrent pain felt by the woman during the childbirth is known as your labor pain. Okay. Further, labor pain is being divided into three stages. First one is stage of dilation, Second one, stage of expulsion. Third one, your placental stage or the afterbirth stage. Now we'll discuss in detail one stages. Okay, please note down. Please note down all the points, or you can pause and write the points. Okay, I'm erasing it. I'm always saying that please note down the points while watching the video. If you cannot write while I'm writing the notes, you can simply pause the video and take the screenshot. Okay, because after every session of the my writing, I'm giving a 2 second or 3 second of pause, so that you can easily pause the video and take a screenshot of it. Okay. Now we'll discuss the 3 stages of the labor pain. Okay, 3 stages of the labor pain. Okay, first stage, first stage is your stage of dilation. Okay, so first step, what happens? Stage of dilation begins with the onset of the labor pains, means starting of the labor pains, which leads to the complete dilation of the cervical canal. Okay, it's start with the onset of the labor pain, which leads to the complete dilation of the cervical canal. Okay, obviously for the childbirth the cervical canal need to be dilated, so it starts from the onset, means starting of the labor pain, which leads to the complete dilation of the cervical canal. Second point, how much time does it require? It requires around 6 to 12 hours. How much time? Around 6 to 12 hours. Third point, during the complete dilation of the cervical canal, also the vagina is also dilated. So we can write the third point, the vagina is also dilated. Okay. Fourth point, the uterine contraction occurs at a regular interval of 30 minutes. We can say it is the fourth step of the stage of dilation, that the vigorous the uterine contraction occurs at a regular interval of 30 minutes. Uterine contraction occurs at a regular interval of 30 minutes. Okay. Next point, the amniotic cavity, the amniotic membrane, or we can say simply the amnion, which is completely covered the embryo, finally ruptures, by which the amniotic fluid comes out. The amniotic membrane ruptures and the amniotic fluid comes out. Okay, so this is all about your stage of dilation. Means first what happens? Onset of the labor pain and starting of the labor pain leads to the complete widening of the cervical canal. Second, How much time does or duration does it take? It takes about 6 to 12 hours. Third point, vagina is also dilated. Fourth point, uterine contraction occurs at a regular interval of 30 minutes. Next, amniotic membrane ruptures by which the amniotic fluid comes out. Okay, so this is all about your stage of dilation. Next, we will discuss the stage of expulsion. Please note down. Please note down the point. Okay, I'm erasing it. Most of your time has been, we can say, over. So it is the high time that you should not waste your time. Okay, please kindly view all the videos with proper attention and concentration. Okay, because we will not get this time another once more. Okay, will not get this time again. This is very important time. Each second of your time is important because you are in the second year. Okay. Now we'll discuss the second stage, that is the stage of expulsion. Stage of expulsion. Okay. Now, what happens in the stage of expulsion? First stage, the intensity of the uterine contraction gets increases. During the parturition, we have said two steps. One is the mild uterine contraction and the intense uterine contraction. So mild means slow, intense means speed or the more amount of uterine contraction. So the first step of the stage of expulsion is that the intensity of the uterine contraction gets increases. Intensity of the uterine contraction gets increases. Okay. Second point. The fully grown fetus comes out of the mother's uterus. Second point, as it is the stage of expulsion, that is why the fully grown fetus comes out of the mother's uterus. Fully grown fetus comes out of the mother's uterus. Okay. Third point, the umbilical cord is generally cut off and tied in the navel region, because when the baby comes out, the umbilical cord is get connected. So it is first the umbilical cord gets cut. We cut the umbilical cord and it is tied in the navel region. Okay, the third point is umbilical cord is cut down and gets tied over the navel region. Okay, the umbilical cord is cut down and gets tied over the navel region. Last point, the duration. The stage of expulsion can be, the duration of the stage of expulsion can be about 10 minutes to several hours depending upon the situation. Generally it takes 10 minutes, but it can also lead up to some hours or several hours depending upon the situation. So we can say the duration can be about 10 minutes to several hours. Okay, so these are your 4 points under the stage of expulsion. The intensity of the uterine contraction increases, okay, by which the fully grown fetus can come out of the mother's uterus. Next point, the fully grown fetus comes out of the mother's uterus during the stage of expulsion. And the third point, the umbilical cord is being cut down and tied and gets tied over the navel region. Okay, and the duration is about 10 minutes to several hours. Okay, please note down. Okay, now next we'll discuss the last stage, the stage of the placental stage or the afterbirth stage. Written, you all have written? I'm erasing it. The stage of the placental stage or the afterbirth stage. This is your third stage. Okay, this is your third stage, that is your placental stage or afterbirth stage. Okay, afterbirth stage. So what happens in this stage? Obviously, if the fully grown fetus comes out of the or delivered out of the mother's uterus, then obviously the placenta have no more role in the inside the uterus. So we can say that as I have said in the parturition process, that after the expulsion of the fetus, eventually the expulsion of the placenta also takes place. So we can also say the placenta is completely shed off from the mother's uterus. Placenta is completely shed off after the mother's uterus after the expulsion of the baby or the expulsion of the fully grown fetus. Now, what is the duration that is taken under the placental stage or the afterbirth stage? It is generally up to 10 to 45 minutes after the expulsion of the fetus. Duration is about 10 to 45 minutes. Remember, after the expulsion of fetus. Okay, so the duration is about 10 to 45 minutes after the expulsion of the fetus. After the expulsion of the fetus, it is all about 3 stages that we have discussed so far: the stage of the dilation, the stage of the expulsion, and this is now we have discussed the stage of the placental stage or the afterbirth stage. So what happens in the last stage? We have said now the placenta completely shed off or completely comes out after the mother's uterus after the expulsion of the fetus, and the time duration is about 10 to 45 minutes after the expulsion of the fetus. Okay, so parturition process is now completed. As we have discussed, the labor pain, which is the recurrent pain felt by the woman during the childbirth, consists of 3 stages, that is the stage of dilation, stage of expulsion, and the stage of or the placental stage or the afterbirth stage. Now we will discuss our next topic, that is the last topic, that is your lactation. Now we will discuss our next topic, that is the lactation. What is lactation? Simply we can say production of milk. Lactation means we can simply say production of milk. Okay. During pregnancy, the mammary gland undergoes certain differentiation to produce milk, or eventually we can say the process of milk production is known as lactation. During the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, the mother's mammary gland undergoes certain differentiation to produce milk. Okay. During the pregnancy period, the mammary gland undergoes some sort of differentiation so that it produces the milk, or simply we can say the process of formation of milk is known as lactation. The process of formation of milk is known as your lactation. The process of formation of milk is known as your lactation. Okay. The lactation is simply we can say the production of the milk. So now we'll discuss the next portion, the next topic under the lactation, that is your colostrum. Okay. So what is lactation? It is simply we can say the production of the milk. During the pregnancy, the mother's mammary gland undergoes certain differentiation to produce milk, or we can say the process of formation of milk is known as lactation. Okay. Now we'll discuss our next topic, that is your under the lactation, that is your colostrum. I'm erasing it. So, what is the term colostrum? So, colostrum is the first milk of the mother which comes out during the 2 to 4 days. It is we can say the first milk of mother. It is the first milk of mother, and it comes out during the first 2 to 4 days. Okay. First of 2 to the 4 days. So, what is the color of the colostrum? The color of the colostrum, it is about yellow in color. First point, it is yellow in color. Okay, the color of the colostrum is your yellow in color. It is third point. It is high in protein, or we can say it is rich content in protein. It is high. It consists of high content of the protein and low content of fat. It consists of high content of protein and low fat contents. Okay. So, in the case of colostrum, it is always advised for the newly developed or the newly born baby to take the mother's milk for the first 2 to 4 days. It is very important because the mother's milk the first mother milk, which is dark yellow in color, we can say yellow or dark yellow in color, consists of colostrum, which consists of high rich content in protein but low content in fat. It also contains, we'll now discuss, it consists of various minerals, various vitamins, then various carbohydrate, protein, enzymes, so that the bacterial infection, the viral infection can be prevented. So in overally, we can say it provides a lifetime immunity to the child. It also contains antibody called the IgA. So we can say it is so that is why it is advised for the newly born child to first take the mother's milk for the first some days, because it consists of the colostrum. It is advised not to give even if water to the newly born child. So as the colostrum consists of the high rich protein with low fat content, various vitamins, minerals, that is why it is advised to take the first milk of the mother, that is your colostrum. Okay, so first point, it is the first milk of mother which secreted by around 2 to 4 days. Next point, it is yellow in color with high content protein, okay, and low fat content. Next point is your, during the end of the pregnancy, the mammary glands secrete milk. You can say, next point, during the end of the pregnancy, the mammary gland secretes milk. Okay, and the colostrum generally consists of so many things such as minerals, vitamins, various enzymes, carbohydrate, proteins, and also various growth factors. Okay, that is why it is advised for a baby child to always take the first mother's milk, that is your colostrum, because it consists of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, carbohydrate, proteins, and also various growth factor. Also it consists of the antibody, also very important, it is your antibody. Okay, please note down all the points. Okay, now come to the composition of milk. Okay, first point, this can be your objective, important objective. First point, what is your milk sugar? Okay, we can say if your question has been asked what is the milk sugar, then what will be your answer? It will be your lactose. The first composition, what is your milk sugar? Then your answer will be lactose. Okay, these are very important objectives, please note down. What is the milk protein present inside the milk? We can say what is the protein present inside the milk? It is called casein. What is the milk protein? It is called the casein. Third composition. Now come to the what is the antibody present in the milk? That is your IgA. What is the antibody that is present inside the milk? Is your IgA. Okay. Next point. What is the enzyme present inside the milk which helps to prevent your bacterial and viral infection? That is your lysozyme. Lysozyme is the enzyme lysozyme is the enzyme which prevents the bacterial and viral infection. Okay. Next, there are various minerals present inside the milk. Various minerals present inside the milk, such as sodium, potassium, etc. Okay. Next, there are also important vitamins present inside the milk, but basically vitamin C is in low content. Basically vitamins are also present, but vitamin C is present in low content. So this is about your composition of milk. First point, what is the milk sugar present inside the milk, or we can say sugar present inside the milk, then your answer will be lactose. What is the milk protein, then your answer will be casein. What is the antibody present inside the milk, then your answer will be IgA. What is the enzyme which helps in preventing the various bacterial and viral infection, is your lysozyme. And various minerals and also vitamins are also present. To the hormonal role of the lactation. First, during puberty, the progesterone and the estrogen, helps in the development of the mammary gland, or we can say growth of the mammary gland. Helps in the growth of the mammary gland. Growth of the mammary gland. During the puberty, the progesterone and estrogen helps in the growth of the mammary gland. During the puberty, which hormone plays the important role? One is the progesterone, other is the estrogen. Okay. Second hormone which play important role during the lactation is your prolactin. Okay. Prolactin is the hormone which plays very important role. Prolactin is the important hormone which plays very important role during the secretion and storage of the milk in the mammary gland. So we can say prolactin is the hormone which helps in secretion and storage of the milk. It helps in secretion and storage of the milk inside the mammary gland. Last one is your oxytocin. Last one is your oxytocin. It is also known as the milk ejecting hormone. Okay. The oxytocin also milk ejecting hormone, or we can also say it is an emotional hormone. Also said as an emotional hormone. The oxytocin helps in the ejection of the milk. Okay. When the suckling of the child occurs, at that time also ejection of milk occurs due to the presence of the releasing of the oxytocin hormone. Or we can also say it is as the emotional hormone, because as the child is being emotionally connected to the mother, when the baby cries, at that time also oxytocin releases and it helps in the ejection of the milk in the case of the mother. Okay, so these are the three important hormones that play important role in case of the lactation. This is all about your complete class. This comes to a complete end to your whole chapter. in the next portion we will start a new complete unit, that is your reproductive health. Okay, so please carefully study all the portions starting from the male reproductive system up to the lactation. It is very very important unit. Please carefully thorough all the videos once again. If you have any doubt, please ask to me, our phone or WhatsApp or anything you want. But it is very important that you should know every detail, each and every detail, from starting from the male reproductive system up to the lactation. In the next class, we'll provide some materials with having some question bank or having some PDF. After that, we'll start our next unit, that is our reproductive health. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.